The next thing that I want to do with the cloth is make a color map so that I have a cloth that's got multiple colors. I know mine looked kind of like a picnic tablecloth. You will have a little bit more freedom than that. But I want you all to work with one of these nodes so that you can practice with it a little bit, because this is a really useful one. So back over here in my graph area, I will press Tab, and I'm going to make a ramp texture. The ramp is Maya's gradient, and it is a really wonderful, versatile node. I will connect its out color to my cloth's base color, and immediately you won't see much of a change. But if I click into the ramp node, what I have is this lovely slider here. On the slider, if I click on a circle, that lets me drag around. And again, I will just pause this render so that I don't waste a lot of time on it. So I can click on the circle and drag around to slide. Whenever I drop my circle, that circle will be loaded into the attributes here. One of them is selected color. So if I click onto selected color, I can change the color of this slider. If I click in the body of the ramp, I can make a new slider. And I can have as many sliders as I want, and I can put them wherever I want. So I can make a lovely striped pattern. In each case, whenever I make a new slider, I can adjust its selected color. One yellow stripe. Perfect. Let me render this again, and we'll see if we can see anything. Not yet, but that's okay. With this stripy pattern, there are a few more things you should know. The first is that my ramp type is set to V, so this ramp runs in the V direction. It could also run in the U direction. And now that I've switched my direction, you can see the stripes happening over here. But those aren't the only directions. I can also have a diagonal stripe. I can have a radial set of stripes, or circular. I can have a box pattern. I can have a UV pattern, which is like a four-corner gradient. There's also a four-corner gradient. And of course, everybody's favorite, the tartan pattern, which is how I made my tablecloth before. With all of these, I can adjust my Place 2D node. So if I come into the Place 2D node, in this case I can repeat in both the U and the V directions. So let's give it 4 in each. And now I will get a much finer little tartan pattern. The more repeats you give it, the finer the pattern will be. And of course, these are both vector-based, so they're completely adjustable. I can come back and say, you know what, I don't really like this tartan thing. Let me get a circle pattern. And now I'll have a circle pattern. And if I say, oh, my circle is stretching out in one direction, I can go back to the Place 2D node, and maybe what I need is 4 by 5. And now I'll have a much more even circle. The last thing that I'll mention here is that in addition to all of those many wonderful things, I also have the ability to add a U wave and a V wave. So instead of having a perfect circle, I can get a blobby shape. The higher these go, the weirder the blobs are going to be. On top of that, even if I turn these off completely, I have the ability to add noise. And noise is going to turn this from a blob pattern into almost a paisley pattern. I can adjust my noise frequency so I get a smaller pattern or a larger pattern until it goes all the way off. And of course, both of these will work with the waves, so I can get all kinds of super fun random shapes. So that's the gradient. It is really powerful, and I'd like you to spend a few minutes doing nothing but playing with your gradients. Get used to adding and removing stripes from the ramp. Try the different ramp types. Play around with the noise and the wave, and finally make sure that you're comfortable adjusting the number of repeats in your Place 2D node. The last thing I'll do is rename everything, so we'll call this one Cloth Color Ramp 01, and we'll call this one Cloth Ramp Place 2D. I will pause here, and when I come back, we will finish up with the cloth.